Hey everybody, it's Hey John today, and today's news is going to be how Dogecoin can get to $10. Are the Dogecoin whales disappearing? And is Dogecoin really the people's coin? Well, if you want to find out about these kind of things and topics here, well, guess what? You're going to need to stay tuned and watch this video here. Now, before we get to all that, I'm Hey John. I create cryptocurrency videos about Dogecoin specifically. I cover the news and the technical analysis. And do me a huge favor, subscribe, like, and share my videos so we can grow the Dogecoin community together. It's a very simple thing. Just please do it, okay? Now, you came for the news. Let's get to it. Today is April 3rd, 2021, and the current price of Dogecoin is about 582 as of this recording on April 3rd, okay? And now we're going to get to the article now of explaining how inflation and influencers can send Dogecoin to $10. That's a title. It's quite catchy actually. The Dogecoin community has changed Doge inflationary trajectory before. There's no reason that can't happen again. As of my understanding to this date here, Dogecoin is now giving about 10,000 coins per block, which sounds like a lot, but given how it was in the past, I don't think it's too bad. But let's go ahead and read the article and let's get to it, all right? So much wow. When Billy Marcus created Dogecoin in 2013, he did so with a joke. Doge's mining rewards was so ludicrously structured that no one could have possibly have taken it seriously. And that's the whole point right here, right? It was kind of a clown on other coins. At the start, miners could earn anywhere from 0 to 1 billion coins for completing a single block. But Dogecoin holders have had the last laugh. Today, the cryptocurrency is worth almost $10 billion and it has one of the most dedicated followings of any tradable security. Luckily, investors could have turned a $1,000 initial stake into nearly $1 million. I hope that if you're one of those people, kudos to you. That's some life-changing money, and that's great. I'm happy to hear that. Of course, I didn't get on it, so I'm not that lucky, but obviously I didn't know about Dogecoin back there either, so anyways. Core to this success was a 2014 technical change that developers quietly made, although celebrity endorsements helped. At block 145,000, the coin switched from its random mining reward to a consistent payout. Miners now earn just $10,000 of Doge. I'm sorry, 10,000 Doge per reward. That moved cap today. That move capped today's inflation at 5.256 billion coins per year, and removes the joke that initially made the cryptocurrency unusable. Well, you say unusable, I say uninvestable, but to use it's pretty easy, right? It was mostly for tips and everything. I read it and all that kind of jazz. So let's see here now. Renewed interest in Dogecoin development could spark even more changes. If its inflation trajectory changes again, Doge at 10 might become a reality. That is true, actually. I mean, if the developers at Dogecoin can reduce this inflation, hey, we're still inflationary as a coin here, but we don't print as many coins either, so it makes it a little more, I would say, rare. But still, there's enough coins being minted out, so it's still usable as the people's currency here. So the next thing note here is, why are Doge prices stuck around 6 cents? Cryptocurrencies typically fall into 3 categories: inflationary, which is Dogecoin, basically you print forever; deflationary, I'm sorry about that, a limited supply of Bitcoin; pegged, a supply that changes to match USD or another underlying asset, i.e. Tether. Okay. Today, Dogecoin lives life as an inflationary coin. Yes, we know that. Much like fiat currencies, more gets minted every day. Okay. And just like its government-backed counterparts, Doge's upside remains limited because buyers know that they can always acquire more later. For a real-world example, consider that the euro and USD exchange rate of 1.2 is virtually the same as 1999. In other words, When your currency adds 4% of supply every year, it will eventually find a price equilibrium with other 4% growth currencies. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and fellow limited supply coins can often see their value rise astronomically, much like Picasso's vintage wines and 1868 collectible stamps. Their limited availability means each minted piece becomes more valuable with each passing day. That is true, actually, and that's kind of why gold is worth more than silver, because there's less gold than there is silver in the world here, right? So just to compare to a real world commodity, and kind of like what Bitcoin and Doge is kind of, I would say, analogize with, right? So Doge is priced to $1 or $10. Even without inflationary changes, the price could still hit $1. That's true. The cryptocurrency has 130 billion coins outstanding. A $1 price per coin will still leave it 55% the size of Ethereum, the world's second largest crypto. And because only the marginal trade matters in asset pricing, even a few major account holders could theoretically send value soaring. That is very true, because when you're trading here, you don't necessarily have to buy every single coin to push it up here. It's basically, it's kind of like, okay, if you put a stop to where it's being bought currently and no one's buying anymore, and you continue to buy and no one is selling, you can push up the price astronomically with, I would say, a relatively low volume without it actually being an issue here. That's the same idea as how it's a very similar concept to how short squeezes works, but of course this isn't a short squeeze, because as you know, Dogecoin isn't a stock, it's an asset. And as you know, there it isn't a stock, so we're kind of buying coins or currency in this case here. So in this sense here, there isn't a really a way to short squeeze anything. But I mean, there are shorters though out there. When you see a price peak, the price peak, they short right here, right? So this is actually very possible without increasing it by very much. And this is very sharp and astute of what Thomas Jung has said here. All right. Okay. With some luck, the coin might even stay at $1. With renewed interest in the Shiba Inu fronted coin, the developers have since jumped back into the code repository, proposing crucial usability and speed improvements. I believe this is going to be the 1.42 or 1.4.2 release that was recently, by recent I mean maybe a month now, from the Dogecoin developers into the Dogecoin nodes. So that's true. Developers have pushed major changes before. Digibyte and Litecoin snippets features prominently in Dogecoin source code. More may be on the way. Okay, because I believe Dogecoin is based off of Litecoin in that sense right there. So inflation will also become a minor issue over time. That's true. The outcome of a flat reward divided by a growing capital base, by 2040, Dogecoin's inflation rate would have dropped to just 2.4%, or roughly the same as US dollars today. By 2060, it would be 1.6%, making it deflationary relative to dollars. Okay, so we can see on this chart here below here, that we see the inflation rate of currently about 4%, right? And given the coins it's outstanding here, by about 2030, let's see, I'll say 2033 or 34 here. I'm not counting the bars here, but just by eyeballing it, it looks like that's kind of where we will see the inflection point where they kind of cross. And from that point on, the Dogecoin will become more valuable. So, as I've been saying here, Dogecoin is a long-term investment. Yes, there will be, peaks, pumps and dumps in the meantime, where it kind of pops up and pops down based on certain tweets or whatever's here. But the long term here, it's going to be very bullish here. And that's kind of why I believe Elon Musk has invested this in Dogecoin, because A, he believes in it, and B, he wants to give little X, his son, a huge future endowment that's already his in place, where I'm pretty sure there's no tax code that will, make it an issue for him to receive that money already. So That'd be pretty cool for a little X here, right? And he'll probably have lots of money to invest in and to create his own companies from. And by the time he's 18 years old, which is 18 years, could be maybe 2038. Guess what? Dogecoin is already in a deflationary tract here. And by that time, right there, little X is gonna have a huge amount of money from him, just from himself here, not even needing his daddy's money, Elon Musk here to invest into him to give him startup money here. So that's kind of why I believe Elon Musk is a CEO of Dogecoin here. I'm pretty sure he knew about this, before he even invested in it because he did, I'm pretty sure. You know what? I'm gonna say Elon Musk does his due diligence and research before he does something, right? And that's kind of why he's a visionary. He doesn't look in the past for what is going on, and for what it's doing. He invents to create the future. And with Elon Musk on board of Dogecoin here, guess what? He sees the future with Dogecoin, and he's on the path with us to make Dogecoin $1. Okay. However, setting Dogecoin to $10 will require an even more significant change: a switch to a deflationary system sooner than 2060. Dogecoin's 10,000 rule. Currently, miners earn 10,000 Doge per block, which happens about once per minute. That puts a $10 price tag firmly out of reach. No matter how many people buy Dogecoin, its ever-growing supply makes price gains an uphill battle. A $10 price means Dogecoin needs to surpass Bitcoin and market capitalization and stay there. But in open source cryptocurrency, no rule is permanent. With enough core contributors voting for a change, even projects as large as Ethereum can alter its fundamental building block to keep up with newer coins. Today, Dogecoin finds itself at the same crossroad. Its codebase is rapidly aging, and newer coins like Cardano and Polkadot are nipping at its heels. Even Bitcoin looks vulnerable to third-generation coins that can perform transactions far faster and cheaper. So far, Dogecoin's grassroots-based approach has helped the cryptocurrency avoid obsolescence. People buy the coin for fun and for profits, not usability. But unless larger stakeholders also step up, these efforts can only go so far. And that's true because these volunteers, the Dogecoin developers here, they're volunteering, right? So obviously they have a day job and they aren't doing this full time here. So they don't have other responsibilities, to their own families, to their own personal lives. So that makes sense. The Dogecoin Whale, ordinarily prominent crypto stakeholders, will help fund code and business development. The Cardano network, for instance, has 3 official organizations to manage standardization, technology, and developer support. Together, they share around billions in funding. Ripple Labs has a similarly large budget for promoting XRP Ripple. Meanwhile, Doge relies on 200 part-time coders and a legion of online fans for support. Many look like core contributor Ross Nickel, working for free to maintain an ever-growing system. It's why much of his code gets lifted from other coins. There are simply not enough resources to develop proprietary code. Others are like the thousands of social media followers on Dogecoin. Many constantly hound the developers to cop the currency supply. If investors want to send Dogecoin prices to $10, far more is needed than buying the coins and posting tweets. It needs a benefactor to help fund improvements. Already, the coin has some big-name backers. On Thursday, Elon Musk promised to literally send Dogecoin to the moon on a SpaceX rocket. He could make an even bigger impact by starting a Dogecoin Foundation to fund development and promote adoption among startups and enterprises. So far, he's avoided that, blaming the Dogecoin whales. Regular investors can help by contributing rather than hounding developers. That is true, actually. Elon Musk is. I saw Elon Musk actually follow the Dogecoin developers, so he is actually into the development of Dogecoin here, and maybe he's in the background trying to figure out how to do it right. He doesn't want to jump in and commit to something right away without actually doing his own due diligence right here, which makes sense. So Dogecoin to $10 is more than a dream. It's a possibility that's just around the corner if the community, one, day bands together. Okay, that's true. I mean, we're seeing a lot of like stuff on Reddit, right, where people are saying buy, 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 sell, 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 and some are just like, buy and hold forever. I'm on that kind of boat. Some are saying no, just day trade it because it's garbage, blah blah. So I mean, yeah, there's a little divide in the Dogecoin community, but that's okay though. I mean, every coin has that. I want to go over to the next thing here. Are the Dogecoin whales disappearing here? Well, I thought this very interesting tweet, Reddit post here. So basically, up here, from my mouse cursor up, is going to be February 21st, and everything down here is going to be April 2nd. Okay, so on April 2nd, you can see that from the 1 billion to 10 billion coins, right? We have only 9 holders now, 9. 2 months ago, we had 11. So that means these two, I would call whales, they have dispersed their coins and they're now below 1 billion coins, which is still a lot, right? But the fact that they dispersed it is great news, right? That means more people can buy now. And that's probably why we're seeing Dogecoin consolidate so much, because when the whales dump their coins here, right? Someone's gonna buy it, and when you see all this positive news lately, right? And everyone's saying, "Hey, John, why isn't Dogecoin going to the moon with us, right? We're seeing all this positive news here." Well, bear in mind, we have whales here dumping their coins, slowly but surely, and in order to maintain the price here. So basically, when they dump their coins, you and I are buying it, the people's currency, right? So we are preventing the price from dropping down, and we're kind of maintaining a new equilibrium here. I mean, that does some technicals for you right there. But you can see also that from the 100 million to the almost 1 billion, it grew from 88 to 94. So those people with bigger players there, they have been buying more coins here. So instead of one or two big whales, right? Now we're seeing 88. I would say miniature whales coming up right here, right? And then another thing to note is that from 10 million to 100 million, right? And in February we had 550, and now we have 567. So these same bigger, I would say now these are like more like infantile whales here, right? But they're still a whale, so they've been growing their base here. So they're pretty much buying the slack from the larger whale dumping it. And when these little miniature whales, I call them right here, buying up the coins here, it's preventing the coin from dropping, significantly, which is great, which is kind of what we want here for the most part. However, to note here also is that from February, the 1 million to 10 million coin group actually dropped significantly, right? From 4475 to now it's 4286. So they lost some. So this tells me that, the I would say the tinier whales, they have started to liquidate their positions here, right? Right? And of course, the bigger ones probably bought it up, and I would say anything a million and below are more retail, like you and I, and we're kind of buying it up here. So you can see that the 1 million retail group grew from 34,940 to 35,273. That grew, a nice amount here, right? You're also seeing the 1,000 to 10,000 group here. It also grew significantly as well. 444,000 to about 499,000. Just for simplicity's sake, we grew about 50,000 more users who now have 1,000 to 10,000 coins here, right? And even more impressive is a 100 to 1,000 coins right here, right? It grew from 615,000 to 727,000. So it grew about 112,000, right? So that's pretty significant as well. Okay? This tells me that retail investors are starting to buy up the coins here. And we're getting more individual buyers buying the Dogecoin here. So that tells me that, okay, people are possibly moving off Robinhood, right? And then they're moving on to like other kind of exchanges, like maybe Webull, maybe Uphold, Voyager, whatever exchange you want to use, and get your own personal wallets. To me, this is kind of what it looks like. Users are starting to wise up, and guess what? They're getting their own wallets now. Of course, we are waiting for Robinhood to kind of, create the wallets for us. Whoever has their coins on Robinhood. However, we have to wait for Vlad to kind of get there. Okay. And now moving on to the last tweet here, from a tweet from It's All Risky. Dogecoin is the people's crypto. Elon said it best when he noted that you don't have to be a giga chad to own one. With a 100 billion plus Dogecoin in circulation, everyone can afford a single Doge. And with that being said, based on the previous chart here and the number here, we can see that the people are starting to flow in to the Dogecoin, right? We have more retail investors buying into Dogecoin. So I will be keeping track of this because I find this actually very interesting, actually. And you will see more updates regarding this. And this is only in 2 months. In 2 months, we saw two big whales drop off a ton of coins. This is quite significant, in my opinion, here. And as always, if you watch this far, if you want to grow in order to grow the Doge community and to get more retail buyers, so we can get rid of some of these whales here, you need to share, subscribe, and like these videos out so we can spread the Dogecoin news and grow the Dogecoin community together. It's Hey John. I will catch you all on the next one.